And welcome to the Lindy Sports post-game report. I'm the coach Dick Cox, joined by Allen Knight. Well, Allen, it was a playoff atmosphere at Bank of America Stadium today. We have the Carolina Panthers, who have been on a hot streak, and the return of Aaron Rodgers today. He's back, and we saw a whale of a ball game. When it was all said and done, the Carolina Panthers hung on for a 31-24 victory, but it looked like we were going to see another Aaron Rodgers miracle at the end.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they were down 2 scores, and Aaron Rodgers, he set off a throwing final comeback to try to get them into this game and tie it up. We were thinking, we were standing in a tunnel, well, are we going to go back up for halftime? And if they score the first time, we're going to come back down again. We're about to get our exercise.
We did. And before we get into the game, as president and owner of Cox Sports Broadcasting, I want to go ahead and get in right now and say right off the bat, a report came out today on Jerry Richardson. It was released. We have not read the report. At Cox Sports Broadcasting, we look for positive things, and we're not going to talk about negative things today that we really don't know a whole lot about. Having read the report, and we prefer, our approach is to talk about the positive things in sports. So if you don't hear us mention or bring any things up along these lines, it's because we choose not to. We would rather talk about football than politics. So let's get back to the game.
Let's get to it. I tell you, it was a barn burner today. Cam came out throwing. McCaffrey, he was shining today, I'm telling you. Running, catching the ball, and Cam was hoping he's going to throw it today, but that didn't turn out.
And I'll tell you what, we had several players. Everybody knew Aaron Rodgers was coming off the IR this week. And Aaron Rodgers, I can tell you right now, is my favorite player. I think he's the best quarterback in the game. He thought he had a bad game today. He thought he was awful the way he played. But I swan he's on a bad day, he's better than most quarterbacks. But him coming back, but two other guys that came back off the IR recently were Damiere Byrd of the Carolina Panthers, Greg Olsen. They had a huge game today for the Panthers.
Oh, yeah. Cam was targeting Olsen today. I think the longest that Cam reception to Olsen was 30 yards today. Both of them looking real good. Byrd, I thought it was funny what Cam had to say in the post-game conference that he caught the ball in the end zone. They thought he was out. The coach threw the challenge flag. They reviewed it, and it ended up being a Byrd touchdown. And Cam said, boy, I'm glad that boy has small cheeks.
And it was funny because Greg Olsen was fussing, no, don't do that, and got all upset about, you're wasting a timeout. He was not. He didn't catch the ball. So Cam had the last laugh on that one.
He did, and Olsen finally changed his mind. Went, yeah, good job. Glad you were able to get a touchdown. It was a fun game today at Bank of America Stadium.
And if you don't know Damiere Byrd, he played at the University of South Carolina. He is a track speed guy, but he is a small guy. So let's hear it for the small guys with small cheeks, that the ball coming down, he got his left cheek in bounds, and that ended up being the difference in the ball game.
Yeah, and
touchdown.
It was. And same thing with McCaffrey. Seeing him today, he's elusive, he's fast, he can get under the defense. He was a good draft choice this season.
Well, he's had a big season. He got to start today, got into the flow of the game, but he can do so many things. Not only does he run the ball, and again, he's not big himself. He's a smaller guy, but he's very fast. He's very elusive, but he is an excellent receiver, and the Panther defensive players has said there's nobody in the league who can cover him one-on-one, and there were times at crucial spots that Cam Newton went to him in third down situations when they had to have the first down, and he got open and found a way to catch it.
Yes, he did. And I was hoping today that he was going to be able to show his third talent instead of catching, instead of running, throwing. I would have loved to seen him try to hit Olsen out in the flat somewhere. Maybe he can try that next time.
Well, again, this guy went to Stanford, so he's no dummy. And what they did, they ran a halfback pass and rolled him out, and the pass was going to be a halfback pass to Greg Olsen, but he was covered. So what did he do? He took the ball, still got 6 yards on the play, got positive yards, even though it was not there, though. But I have a feeling we'll see that play before the season's over.
I hope so, too. That'll be another wrinkle in the offense. But today, across the board, McCaffrey had 12 attempts at 63 yards. His average was 5.3 and 15. We're going down with that's rushing. He had 12 attempts. In terms of passing, Olsen was targeted 12 times. received 9 for 116 yards. Like I said, his longest was 13. And, of course, Demir Bird was targeted 4 times, had 3 receptions for 25 yards, and his longest was 13 today with 2 touchdowns. Olsen, McCaffrey, and Bird all ended up with 4 touchdowns today.
Okay, and again, outstanding game by them. On the other side, Allen covered the Panthers locker room. I went to the Green Bay side and heard what Coach Mike McCarthy had to say right now. And Aaron Rodgers, Aaron's first comments are, "I'm sore right now." The next question was, are you going to play any more this year? He said, "I don't know. I'm going to see how I feel tomorrow," because there's a chance if the Packers get eliminated tomorrow night from the playoffs that they may shut him down and not risk anything right there, though. Aaron Rodgers today was 26 out of 45 passing for 290 yards. He had 3 interceptions, but more importantly, had 3 touchdowns, and were driving the Packers for a possible tying touchdown with a little over a minute to play when he completed a pass into the red zone and his receiver fumbled the ball. Mike McCarthy said he thought that he did not have control, and he was arguing that it was an incomplete pass, but after further review showed that it was a fumble. The Panthers recovered and were able to run the clock out.
Ron Rivera was very proud of the defense today with the Panthers as they helped to put a tight rein on the run side of the Packers and forced Aaron Rodgers to throw. But he was very proud of the overall performance from offense to defense in today's game, and they're hoping they'll be able to carry this momentum into the rest of the season.
Well, it's kind of funny you talking with the defense, too. They played well. And I asked Aaron Rodgers, I said, did you see something in the film this week that, that you were going to run the ball more? And he said, no. He said, I came into the game today basically thinking I was not going to run a lot. And he said, I was joking with the trainer and all that I anticipated, if I had 30 yards today, that'd be great. Well, Aaron Rodgers today had 6 carries for 43 yards and averaged 7.2 yards a carry. So, again, he was not bashful out there. There were many times that when the Panthers were covering the receivers or putting the rush on, that he tucked it and ran it. And, again, you got to give him credit on the way he played today. He was very complimentary of the Carolina Panthers defense. Talked about the 2 corners they got are very good. He said, the linebackers, talking of Kuechly and Davis, are all pro. And he said their defensive line rushes you every play. And mentioned Julius Peppers, he said, is a first ballot Hall of Famer.
And my favorite, you mentioned Julius Peppers. My favorite was when he sacked Rodgers today, and I was watching the two, and they shook hands, patted each other on the back, and walked away. I love it. That was good sportsmanship.
And again, I asked Aaron about that. I said, on the last sack, you got sacked, you and Julius shook hands. He said, Julius is a good friend of mine. And he said, Julius and I actually have talked for a long time for the games. He said, we were teammates. He said, we were close friends and teammates. He said, Julius Pepper, I have ultimate respect for him. He said, as he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, and he said that was a respect thing after the game right there, though. But he said basically Julius and I are good friends, and it was just kind of a gesture out of respect.
Yeah, I was wanting to ask Julius that in the locker room today. Well, with the elusive Mr. Peppers, he kind of slipped out the back door and said, see ya, and just left us standing in the huddle like, well, are we going to talk to him today or not? And then they come across and come through the locker room and say, well, we're locking it down. And we asked where were Peppers, and he would hit the road.
Well, I'm going to give you the scoop on that. Julius Peppers, while y'all were waiting, I was going back in for Cam interview. He had been over visiting some of his former Green Bay Packer teammates, and he was coming back from the Packers locker room and headed towards his car or back out that way. But I do give him credit because he was a member of the Packers for several years, had some good years up there, and Aaron Rodgers made the comment that Julius is having a great year right there, though. But out of respect for Green Bay, Julius actually went over to see some of his Packer teammates.
And that's perfectly fine, but we were wanting to wait to see what he had to say about today's game, and I wanted to ask him about that sack and how it felt to sack one of his former players. But overall today, the game, we had a total of 24 first downs, 29 by the home team Panthers. Very efficient in terms of getting third downs. We only had one. The Packers went 2 for 3 for 67 on fourth down, right there when it was getting toward the end. But overall, if you look at the stat sheets, it was fairly even though the score is 31-24, it looked like a fairly even game.
Well, it's kind of interesting, though. I thought we were going to have our classic Aaron Rodgers come from behind. I looked up at the scoreboard. The Panthers were up by 2 touchdowns with 3:43 remaining in the game. Aaron Rodgers takes them down the field. They score. And the thing was, with 3:43 remaining in the game, down 14, they only had 1 timeout left. He takes them down. They score. They execute the onside kick, and Christian McCaffrey, the ball went right through his hands. Packers recover. And Christian, I said, what happened? He said, I missed the ball. It's as simple as that. He admitted that, though. But Aaron Rodgers and company got the ball back, and I said, Allen, I said, this thing goes overtime. We're going back up to the press box. But he had them on the move in the right direction. And, again, unfortunately for the Packer fans, and I'm a Packer stockholder, the Packers fumbled in the red zone, and the Panthers were able to get the win. People asked me today about who are you pulling for? Who are you pulling for? I grew up a Packers fan. I'm a Packers stockholder. I said I always pull for in this situation whoever needed to win the most, and I felt like the Carolina Panthers needed to win the most. So I had to go to the Panthers. The Panthers still have a chance to win this division. They putting a lot of pressure on the 2 teams next week between Atlanta and New Orleans play next week, while another divisional game, the Panthers play Tampa here. That's going to be a huge weekend right there. But if the Panthers could win out, they would be divisional champions.
So it's going to be interesting what's coming down the pike. Keep an eye on it. It's getting a little windy out here and a little chilly as the sun goes down. So I've had a good day today.
Again, great day today, and you have been watching the Lindy Sports post-game report. Again, if you get a chance, let the people at Lindy's know. If you've enjoyed the interviews we've done, let us know too, though. But again, we have tried to have a lot of fun this year. This will be our final Panther regular season game. Hopefully we'll get some playoffs if we can get one here at Bank of America Stadium. But next week I will be tied up. Alan will be tied up, and our families with family things with Christmas Eve celebrations going on, though. But again, go out and get your latest edition of Lindy Sports. But this has been the Lindy Sports Report, your final score from Bank of America Stadium. The Carolina Panthers 31, the Green Bay Packers 24.
Good evening, everybody.
Happy holidays, and we'll see you down the road. Goodbye.